So let's take a look at some Woodbine races. They've got a nice Grade 1 stakes card. I believe we've got four. And we'll start with the Woodbine Mile. And this is always a prep for the Breeders' Cup. You notice, you may recall that Charlie Appleby always seems to bring one of his more prominent contenders to Woodbine as a prep for the Breeders' Cup. It's the 10th race on Saturday's card. It's running a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. And we take a look at this field, and a few of these we've seen before. Of course, Naval Power, the Charlie Appleby import, who has been stayed in the States, had a couple of seconds last time. No shame losing to Master of the Seas, of course. You've got Big Rock coming in from Europe as well. Filo de Ariana, who's a perennial hard knocker at Woodbine and is 5 for 5 at the track. And my boy Prince, who was a lot of people's choice to win the King's Plate and had a pretty good second, I'd say. Questionable ride, but there it is. So we take a look at this field, and you can see there's a lot of horses who are fairly anxious to be up around the lead. So I think that's going to spell a lot of trouble for Filo de Ariana. Just coming off a really good race last time, but it was a career high Brisnet figure for a horse who's 8 years old. And that kind of gives me pause. She's certainly, or he rather, is certainly a horse for the course, 5 for 5 at Woodbine. But just something tells me that, getting an 8-year-old off the bench is when you want him. And now following that up, I think it may be asking a little much to hold all of these horses off. From the group, of course, Naval Power sticks out. I've always liked this horse, and he's lost a program training in Master of the Seas, either one of which would probably be a heavy favorite in this race. I've liked this horse. I liked him to beat Master of the Seas, as a matter of fact, and I think this horse is extremely logical here. There's nothing creative about it. I just think Naval Power is just better than this group. You do have a couple others in here. Mark Cassie's got a couple, and on this card, it's the Mark Cassie Invitational in a lot of these races, particularly the 2-year-old races, and we'll have postings for those. But I settled on as horses to fill out the field. Play Me a Tune is an interesting horse. Has not run on turf yet and hasn't run at a mile, but shows a lot of promise in the 3 starts, and with another move forward, I think can factor in this race. Will probably be staying just off of Filo de Ariana, and can work out a trip from the rail. Has a good chance to factor in this race, particularly at the odds. Of course, you're going to want value underneath, and so I think Play Me a Tune is one that makes a lot of sense. My boy Prince is a horse you have to like. At a mile in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year, had finished in the money, was actually leading the race for a little bit there, and cutting back in the distance I think makes sense for this one. The King's Plate, I really questioned the ride that he got. He moved very early in that race, and to speak to his quality, despite the early move, at a mile and a quarter, still had enough to stay in second. So I think this is a pretty darn good horse, and at 12 to 1, I think that's awesome value. So we'll throw my boy Prince in the mix. Now, Big Rock is the puzzler. What do you do with him? Now, you may note here I've put an asterisk next to Big Rock. One of the things that we recall, I do, from Royal Ascot, where Big Rock was a pretty big player. I believe it was in the Queen Elizabeth II. I can't recall right off the top of my head which race he was in. But when we handicapped it, I noted that this is a horse that really likes soft ground. So if there's any rain or anything that softens up the turf, give Big Rock a really serious look. If it is firm, I would not. His last 3 races have all been on good track, good turf, particularly at Royal Ascot where it was firm, and he was nowhere. So I think if there's any moisture, then Big Rock is one that maybe we upgrade into our mix. But otherwise, I probably won't use them at all, as that's a big condition to using Big Rock in this one. Has the back class, clearly could be a player here if the track agrees with him. So we look at our wagering strategy. You know, Naval Power at even money, I don't know that I want to bet to win, so I'm going to try to look for a little value on a win bet, and I'll go with my boy Prince at 12-1. I think this horse has shown enough talent here that if for some reason Naval Power falters or runs into trouble, I think my boy Prince will be right there. And at 12-1, you're getting awesome value. We're not doing anything imaginative here. We're going to go cold exactas with Naval Power on top, my boy Prince underneath, and then play me a tune underneath. Then we're going to box my boy Prince and Naval Power in the hope that maybe it comes in. Now, the asterisk, as I mentioned, Big Rock, it's all about how the track is playing. If the track is soft, I will put Big Rock in a box with Naval Power. If it comes up firm, I will not use that bet. Same thing with the trifecta. We're just going to do a 2 with 1-8, 1-8, and then we'll do 2-4, 2-4 with 1-8 if it's soft, and the same 2-4 with 1-8 with 2-4 if it's soft. And that is the only condition with which I would use Big Rock. I just think there's better value to be had. If he can drift up to 8, 10-1, something like that, not highly likely. He's likely going to be the second choice. Then maybe we can reevaluate a little bit. But I need value underneath. That's the only way you make an even money favorite pay. So that's what we're going to do. Naval Power to win the Woodbine Mile. Stay tuned for more postings. We'll do, hopefully have one for all the other grade ones at Woodbine. Hope this helps you with your own analysis. Wish you the best of luck. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, be well.